You can support this show at patreon.com/ASAPodcasting. Back, Skyrim Addict Podcast, or Starfield Addict Podcast, whatever it is this week. We're going to have like a couple seconds of Skyrim. And then we'll get into Starfield. So, I'm Michael, I'm here with Ray.
Hello.
And Juan.
Hey, how's it going?
Who's been so long that he muted himself because he's out farming. And Victor.
Good evening.
So Ray and I were just talking about Skyrim real quick. So upgraded to Series X, obviously for Starfield, but also because Legacy of the Dragonborn does not really run on the One X, to be fair. It's very clunky.
No surprise there.
Yeah.
A little beefy. Yeah, I had a hard time running it on my old PC.
Yeah, so the other benefit of upgrading to Series X was I could play Legacy of the Dragonborn cleanly. And so I started a character, and I started as I used Live Another Life and started as a beggar in Riften, and essentially used this as a job, as a way to make money. And so that's all my questing kind of bounces off of what's his name gives me at the museum, essentially. So. I joined the companions because I came across them, and it was another way to make money in between making money with finding things for the museum. So, but Ray, you said you'd started a legacy character too because of
a new trailer popped up from Ice Cream Assassin, the maker of Legend of the Dragonborn, called Odyssey of the Dragonborn, which is a continuation of the story. And so it looked really cool. Got really excited about it. And then realized I hadn't played Legacy of the Dragonborn since we did the roundtable.
Which was a while ago.
Yeah. And so I started up a character doing that. One of the things that caught me in the trailer is that they're going to have a means for you to start a level 50 character.
Oh,
cool.
And you'll have all of the level 50 stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So your museum will be, kitted out with most of the stuff that you would have by the time you're level 50. Plus, you'll have gear and all that.
Presumably, you'll be a member of a high level member of the guild and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
makes
Nice.
sense.
And so then the story carries on from there. So that looked pretty cool. No idea when they're going to actually come out with it.
Was there any inkling in the trailer as to what the continuation of the story is? I mean, what?
It was kind of the gist I got was that it's a continuation of the story of the Dragonborn themselves.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
life
maybe-
after Alduin.
Okay, so including DLC and stuff like that, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. That's nice.
So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm sort of continuing my sort of my shout character that I created with Simon Magus' shout mod and the Gods and Worship. But I haven't done a whole lot with it. But he's a lot of fun. We're in the Civil War and partway through the main quest. So, and some of the perks from the Simon Magus shout mod are fun. That as you kill more dragons and get more dragon souls, you can progress up perk tree, and you can make your shouts last longer and longer and longer, or be more powerful. And there's some pretty cool little enhancements to the shouts. And particularly I'm using Ordinator instead of Adamant, which is Simon Magus's mod.
Yeah.
And so I think it might jive more with Adamant than it does with Ordinator, but there's some good speech / shout perks in Ordinator too. So we'll see how all that jives. There's a patch for it. So
yeah.
But that's as far as I got with that. So
yeah, Ordinator does have a nice little branch.
It does.
Yeah, for sure.
On speech for that.
Yeah. I don't know how well they go together with the patch, whether, one overwrites the other. I haven't taken any of the speech perks. So the Ordinator speech perks. So just for that reason. So
gotcha.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. It always felt like the shouts were a little weak.
Oh yeah.
For what you're supposed. I mean, if you're supposed to be kind of like a dragon, I would have expected it to be a lot stronger than they were. They were helpful, some of them, but a lot of them, like if you're breathing fire on somebody and they just kind of keep running at you.
Yeah. Well, and also with things, clearly, we've all experienced this. I mean, you have enemies that can, like, especially Draugr overlords and stuff that can shout a lot, and yet your cooldown is 20 seconds or 30 seconds or so. You're sitting there waiting. Right. It's kind of ridiculous. So some of that balance was not well done in the original game. So.
Yeah, even with the Amulet of Talos and the Blessing of Talos and everything, it was still really slow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool that somebody updated that, made it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing a character kind of like I think Michael did one where the guy wasn't going into cities and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It is really tough to get rid of stuff and make gold when you do that.
That is true, actually, yeah.
But so I just keep going around looking for the vendors on the road or outside of town. And that was kind of the best way to do it. But I was having a good time just kind of going around the border and everything and discovering a lot of places I'd never even seen before. Because I was doing the entire perimeter of the map, which was fun.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, because there's definitely not as much around that way until you get to like Markarth, obviously. But yeah.
Yep.
The perimeter's not a lot going on.
Yeah, there was a few things I found and a couple caves and some that I hadn't been into in a long time. So it was fun to get back into Skyrim.
Yeah, I find that happens. I've been running across things. I'm like, oh god, I haven't done this in so long, or I don't even remember ever being here. But I clearly had to have been there at some point.
And then you start going through and you're like, okay, now I remember.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. No, I got that now. Yeah, it is weird how that happens. So we obviously had the release of Starfield officially today, although most people have had it for a week at this point, or some people have had it for a week. I've had it since today. So we all have varying hours in and levels. I assume we'll just keep it spoiler free, et cetera. But yeah,
I think we can probably fairly confidently talk in a little bit of detail about the first.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The opening sequence. And
yeah. Which is basically your trials to teach you everything and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I've done that 4 times now.
Oh god. Yeah. I feel like I did it 4 times all one time. But
whereas I was actually a little surprised on the opening night there when it released at 10 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it wasn't going to activate until midnight.
Oh, okay.
So I was prepared to go to bed and then get up early in the morning and start playing. Well, it activated at 10. So I'm like, I usually go to bed around 10. So I'm sort of half asleep and I started playing the game. It was not a good mix. I woke up having done some stuff. I woke up and staring at the screen thinking, what's that freaking planet doing there? And I don't know.
Oh god, yeah.
So it did not go well.
That was kind of my problem too, because I started playing before work this morning.
Oh,
so I had like an hour after I woke up. So I got like an hour in, but then I had to stop all day until I got home, and then I got back in, and I'm like, what
was I doing?
What?
Yeah. I remember somebody telling me to do something, but now I don't remember what it was. So I think I'll try to. Oh, I know. I'll try to fly down to this planet. I'm flying. Nothing's happening.
Yeah. I did the exact same thing. I'm like, I'm like in No Man's Sky, I would have been on that planet already. I know that.
Yeah. So
It's like I'm going 90 miles an hour.
What's going on? Can I get there? Yeah. So I think immediately
that first night I played until 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I wish, I cannot stay up like that. So
but
by the way, I heard it called, and I thought this was fun and appropriate. No Man's Skyrim.
I would say it's more No Man's Fallout.
Yeah, kind of the coffee cups and all the stuff, all the loot. Yeah,
and even the combat and stuff is much more Fallout than Skyrim to me.
Yeah, and actually, I was thinking about this during the pirate battle there, the sort of low grav, the second part when you go out on the roof and you're battling the boss guy there or whatever. Some of that felt a little bit like the Doom reboot, and there's some DNA there because it's a Bethesda game that just jumping and shooting and stuff. It was very smooth. It's I think the combat is the actual person to person combat, so to speak, is very fluid.
Yeah, for sure. I
think it's really well done.
Yeah, it felt very smooth.
I did enjoy the shooting and everything. That was nice.
Yeah. Ship combat, I haven't got used to that yet.
Yeah, I was like, it did feel kind of like
one tip I can give you on that is go into the settings and turn down your reticle sensitivity. Because the stock setting is really squirrely.
Yeah. Are you talking like mouse sensitivity kind of setting? Yeah.
Because you move it a little bit and this thing is just going wildly one way.
Especially if you have a really super sensitive gaming mouse, like a high res gaming mouse, it gets really.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah. I didn't
so you crank that down, and as you move it, it slows it way down.
Plus, I found personally, I've been getting used to it. I think after a while, but having to control, the engine values and all of, the sliders that are down there. There's a lot to do, and the UI, and I guess that if we're going to get into this kind of thing, I do have some issues with the UI. There's some stuff that really needs to be addressed there. Some of it just freaking sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all there. It's just hard to figure out, hard to get to, and some of it's really inscrutable. So, I'm sure that'll either be addressed by modders or Bethesda or both, or we'll just get used to it and learn it. But at first it is kind of tough, especially if you fall asleep halfway through the tutorial.
Yes, same.
So that didn't help.
Yeah. It certainly helps having all the hours in No Man's Sky that I do, because I'm used to a lot of that. That battle sequence stuff. But all that engine stuff and power to your
the switching,
don't even worry about it. I mean, most of the time, unless you're playing on a higher level difficulty setting, you're fine. As long as you have some power to the engines, and you're not really chasing anybody. It's really maneuverability. So you're running your engines only at half power anyway. For maneuverability. And, the only thing that you'll run into every once in a while is you go to jump to another star system, and your grav drive will be offline.
Okay.
And so you do have to knock one bar off of your engine and go move it over to your grav drive.
Got it.
Most of the time it does it automatically. I don't know what makes it decide, to all of a sudden, not work automatically, but evidently every once in a while it does.
Gotcha.
And so you just say when you get the warnings, the warning up in the middle of the screen.
The countdown in red.
Yeah. Well, no, that your grav drive is not online.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you just
I haven't gotten that one yet.
It took me forever to figure it out.
Yeah. It took me a second.
every other time, I've jumped like, 40 or 50 times before that happened. And so I was really lost, but finally figured out, okay, there's no power to the grab drive.
Yeah, it happened for me on that first jump to New Atlantis. I had to switch it there. I got the warning, and but I realized what to do because I had fortunately done the tutorial after getting home, so I remembered what
that was fresh in your mind.
So it was relatively fresh in my mind, and I remembered what to do. But I guess I don't know. Do you want to start at like I didn't for character creation? I'm not like a big character creation guy, so I just kind of breezed through it. I don't know how did everybody else feel about character creation in general.
I think Jessica was saying that you don't really have to worry too much about it in the beginning, just because you can always change stuff later.
Yeah.
And even some of the negative traits that you have that give you a positive and a negative effect. I was talking to the doctor, and he can actually get rid of some of those as well. Because I did the alien DNA, DNA, and I also did the introvert.
Gotcha.
And there was one other, but I was talking to the doctor, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I can get rid of that for you. It'll cost this and whatever." And it's amazing, like how many credits you're getting until you see the price of stuff. Like,
yeah, I thought, wow, I've got 18,000 credits. Oh yeah, no, the ship's going to cost me 300,000.
Yep, that's what I went through.
Oh man,
I was like, yeah, I got 40,000 credits. All right. Oh, I can afford the cheapest ship that they have. Almost.
I can afford a coffee mug.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, that was.
And then. Yeah, I'm also kind of trying to figure out the crafting and everything as well.
Oh God.
Yeah.
See, if you want, you can have, you can overcome, some starting, perk expenses that, you're like, okay, I don't really want to go that way. Now I want to go this way. Unless you're really focused on doing some specific things. Because I think, what was it? There's 300 and some perks.
Oh, wow.
In all these trees.
Yeah, it was a lot.
And so, the other thing is that, you may, you may decide that you want to, to do, crafting. But when you take that first crafting perk, okay, now you need to build 10 things.
Right.
Oh yeah. There's
before you can do the next one. Then you got to build 20 things. Then you got to build 100 things.
I do like that it tells you have an exact amount of what you need to do before you move on to the next level, as opposed to where it's just a bar and it keeps increasing. And then at some point you're like, oh, okay, now you can move on to the next level. Now you sit there and go, oh, I just got to do 3 more sneak attacks and I can go to level 2 of sneak or whatever.
Yeah.
So I did actually appreciate that part of it.
Yeah. And it's really cool the way they do it. The drawback is that if, some things are not easy to come by, and if you go over, like if you need, 20 sneak attack kills, and the first guy you kill is your 20th, but you don't have a perk point, the next 10 guys that you kill with sneak attack don't count towards your next level.
Oh.
So they don't start counting until you can take the level.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. So you have to plan your perks. So I wanted to play around with the shipbuilding and, and piloting. And so, I was able to bank perks until I could get to the flight simulator. And then I was able to rank up my skills in the pilot in the simulator, and then pop out, up my rank, go back in, and get more perks, or get more levels.
I haven't really gotten a feel for how fast one levels either, because as usual, I just sort of, I ran through the first battle. I made it to wherever, Jemison, whatever it is. And as soon as I was free from the required dialogue, I just wandered off, which is what I usually do. So, and I ended up finding a guy behind a desk at the Galactic Bank who wanted me to go, collect on some deadbeats. So I went off and did that, and I had to bounce around and stuff. And then on some planet, I found a really interesting salvage yard, which looks like an interesting quest. But so anyway, but I don't seem to have leveled a whole lot. So is the leveling more frequent if you're doing the main quest, or what's the?
Seems like it's based on XP.
Yeah, XP, but you get a little bit of XP from killing people. You get a little bit of XP from scanning stuff. You get a lot of XP from doing quests.
Yeah,
a lot like Fallout 4.
Gotcha.
Okay, I haven't scanned anything because I missed that part of the tutorial because I was asleep. So I have no fucking clue how to scan shit. So
and the thing about scanning is it's all great and good if you're just scanning rocks and plants. But if you want to start scanning creatures, then you need to start increasing your level of scanning because that gives you greater distance, greater scan distance. Mm-hmm. So instead of running up to the creature, letting them whack you and then run away, you can scan them from afar.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay. And Sean, my oldest, he's been playing it a lot because he also got the early access. Of course, he's like, he learns games fast. So he was waxing about how he loves the fact that you can board enemy ships. So he's like boarded ships and taken over, or, other spacecraft and stuff like that. I'm thinking, oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't think so.
I've got a character for that.
Yeah.
The other fun thing about it is that, everybody's throwing these little side quests at you.
Yeah.
And you've got no idea what they are. And, some of them can take you, 20 minutes to complete. And some of them take you hours and hours and hours.
Wow.
Well, the first one for the Galactic Bank was pretty easy. It was a persuade thing. And I think I ended up persuading the guy to give up his money.
Gotcha.
That was fine. The second one, on the other hand, ended up in a space battle. And I was just like not capable of dealing with that. So I safe scummed my way out of that. So yeah, I think to your point that probably would have taken me. I should have been way more prepared for that one.
Yeah, but there's no way of knowing, and they talk to you right off the bat. So
yeah,
I ended up down a rabbit hole. When you're walking through the city, New Atlantis, there's a kiosk advertising jobs. Oh. And so I wonder what that is. So I went over and applied for the job and told them that I had, no skills, no education, and was, had a little bit of a criminal bent. And they said, perfect. Come in for an interview.
Oh, man.
Awesome.
And, and that one, 4.5 hours later, I finally finished that one off.
Wow.
And that was doing nothing but that quest.
Wow. Okay.
So they can definitely drag you down some pretty serious rabbit holes.
So, I'm joking
Not like
about.
we're used to that at all, though.
No, right?
Yeah, no rabbit holes here.
No.
I'm joking about falling asleep and all that stuff, but and yes, I didn't do a very good job of learning. But is it? Am I mistaken, or do they just sort of dump you in and expect you to figure out all the crafting on your own? Because I still have no clue what the hell I'm doing when I walk up to a crafting station.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. I don't know if there is a, one of these little side missions. So one thing you can do, look in, there's a tab in your quest log called, crap, I just had it. But it's similar to the miscellaneous, but activities.
Okay.
And you go into activities and it's little mini tutorials for all the different stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
Huh.
All right.
And so there's an activity for learning how to, because you can't just do crafting. I mean, you can do a little bit of just crafting, but you have to do research.
Right. That's the thing.
So, you have to know, what items you need to have in your inventory to be able to do the research.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really good to use the little magnifying glass, like we had in Fallout 4, where you can highlight the different resources that you're going to need, for all the different recipes that you want to research. And then you can also do it at the bench for all the stuff that you want to build. So,
those things were familiar. I recognize that the magnifying glass was, exactly like you said, from Fallout.
But that's, in activities, you can find all kinds of different little mini tutorials.
That would be helpful
for that stuff. Yeah.
I think I did make bandages. So
yeah, I did too. But there's so many, like you say, there's research, and I guess I find the UI a little bit hard to figure out exactly what it's telling me I need to do, or so yeah, it would be nice to have. So I started watching a couple of YouTube playthroughs, particularly Many a True Nerd, who I really like a lot.
He's so funny.
He's such a funny guy, and he's so smart and erudite. There's all kinds of very funny little jokes that he makes that are, and so his particular playthrough, he's playing a xenobiologist that has to pay his parents' mortgage. Because that's one of the traits is you still have parents, right?
Yep.
So and you have to pay their mortgage. Yeah. So and this particular xenobiologist wants to collect all the coffee cups in Starfield.
Oh God.
So yeah. So but anyway, so I'm watching him, and he figures things out pretty quickly, and he edits the videos very well. So clearly he's doing a little bit off screen. And figuring out. So I've been watching his stuff, and so there's some insights there that I've gained, but I haven't been able to put them into practice yet.
Yeah, my thing is I went in basically totally blind today. I tried to stay away from everything, not to just say spoiler free, but I wanted to have my own opinion on what I experienced versus so I had no basis of knowledge for the UI or anything, and I was like. Wait, how do I turn that flashlight off again? Because I was running around with the flashlight on and I forgot how to turn it off. And I'm like, every pirate in there was finding me. I'm like, oh God. And I was like, oh, it's this. And then, I'm back and forth in and out of menus 5 different times. Because if you hold in a button, it does one thing. If you tap it, it does another.
Yeah, same on the PC. That is kind of wonky, but because you got to hold tab or hold X to fly or whatever. Yeah, it's the same idea. I find that a little bit hard to get used to. And Sean was telling, because he has a pressure sensitive keyboard, so he had to turn his sensitivity down, I think, almost all the way, because he was constantly miscuing stuff.
Oh, wow. Because it was reading it as holding it down, which is different than tapping it. Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
So I've got a cat for that.
Yeah. I used to. Yeah.
She killed so many innocent people. It's really sad.
Oh man.
Well, but that's what cats do, isn't it? They're just born for that.
Yeah. So. Right as Ray said that, 2 cats came running into this room. Thank you. It's like you called them.
Did somebody call for a cat?
Yeah. They just trotted right in the door. I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
Soon we'll have a cat butt on the screen there.
Yeah. Yep. Every episode it happens. Yeah. So I went through obviously the starting area, which is the mine, and then I guess Crete is essentially the second starting area, right? Basically.
Where the
pirates
facility is.
The facility is. So I was telling, I think I put it in the chat, and I was telling Ray that I bounced in and out of it like 4 times trying to figure out. I got all the way to the top. You have to fight the captain of the pirates and blah, blah, blah. And I did, and I killed everybody, or I assumed I did, and nothing happened. So I'm running all over. I jumped off the roof back down to the ground, tried to find everybody. I was like, oh, maybe I have to pick something off of him or whatever. No captain to be found. Run all the way back through the research center again because you can't jump up onto the roof. And no captain to be found. Figure out how to turn on the markers and go all the way back through the research center again up to the top of the roof. I'm standing right under the marker and he's not there. I'm like, all right, what is going on? And that's when I put the message in the Facebook chat, and I jump off the roof again. I run around, and then I like kind of fast travel even though I'm right there. And I go back up to the roof, and he's there. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I gotta kill him again, and then it worked. So it was very strange. He must have been like either pinned somewhere or lost somewhere, and then like kind of fast traveling back to the location, reset him.
That would be a sort of a typical Bethesda kind of.
It felt very, it felt very typical. Yeah, I was like, all right.
On that one, I actually managed to talk my way out of it.
I tried.
I thought that was really cool.
You
could,
Well, and I liked that there was like options for the persuasion, not just one. Mm-hmm. Like there was different levels of the persuasion as well. That you
wasn't it kind of like the Oblivion thing where you have to build.
Yeah, I would say it's similar. Yeah, to the wheel. Yeah. Same basic concept where it was like a +1 or +2 or +5. Yeah. The lock
it's
picking.
not bad. I've ended up using that quite a bit. And
do you find that you need to take the persuade perk in order to make it work better, or can you work it without that?
I've been working without it on this current character that I'm playing. There's a couple of drugs that you can take that increase your persuasion. So, I had one lady that she had 8 bars. I'm like, oh crap. So I took a couple of different meds and was able to get through it.
Yeah, I think some of the alcohols too, right? Yeah. So,
and then I've got another character that I've actually taken, the persuade perk, and it does make things easier. But it's not full,
3, right?
Yeah,
because I think somebody said that you can go through Fallout 3 and actually not have to kill people as much with the really high persuasion. Is that true?
Yeah, you can. Well, that and there's also
charisma.
If you keep working down that tree, there's a perk called manipulation. And that lets you make people do things, or talk them, make them think it's their idea to cooperate with you.
That always works really well.
Yeah.
In real life too.
Yes. So Cosmo was asking, is there a survival setting in the game? Because he's saying who's playing survival if there is.
Not that I noticed yet.
Yeah, I think it only goes to very hard.
Yeah. Okay.
it didn't work out for me, but I tried a tip I saw to evidently when you fly into a solar system, if you fly into it with your game set on very hard, then it sets all the loot in that system to very hard loot.
Oh,
but then you change it to back to normal or hard or whatever you're playing on, and then all your interactions in that process are at that level, but the loot is at the higher level. But I cannot confirm that works because I had been finding all kinds of epic and rare loot before I tried it, and after I got nothing. So anyway, having dealt with the ships a lot now in this current character that I'm playing, they really, really dropped the ball. So, and it is so hard for me to wrap my head around it, because it's so counter. So the lowest tier ship is an A tier.
okay.
Then it goes to B, and then it goes to C. So C is your best ship.
That's weird.
Instead of your crappiest ship, which every other game on the planet
opposite,
uses the standardized tier method. They do it with the guns and the spacesuits and everything. That's all that's rare, epic, legendary. That's fine. But with ships, A class is the worst and C class is the best.
Interesting.
Good to know.
And it's
and there's a real
it's still baffling
from the little bit I've read and seen on some reviews, and also just watching. Well, the only playthrough I've watched has been Miniature Nerd, and he hasn't gotten anywhere near that. But it looks like the shipbuilding is very kind of mix and match. You can sort of move pieces and parts around in any way you want, but the interior then sort of shifts itself to. I don't know. It looks a little bit.
Yeah, it's
hard to figure out.
It's daunting at first, but once you play around with it for a while. So the main thing that made it easier for me is, so when you have a piece, and I start with the docking bay, because that's the lowest thing on the ship. It has these little circles in certain spots where things attach to it. And if you hover your cursor over that circle and then hit the add button, it'll only bring up things that will attach to that spot.
Okay.
Things that won't attach to it won't show up in the menu at all. And so that made it a lot easier. I was just picking apart and then trying to figure out where to stick it, and I couldn't find it anywhere for it to go. And so, finally I figured out that you do that.
I guess because I don't want to ask too many questions. I want to figure it out. But the biggest thing I'd worry about is if I've gone around with the ship that you got at the beginning of the game, and I've collected, whatever 450 units of stuff. The ship is fully loaded with lead and aluminum and all the other kind of stuff I've been able to. And then I decided I want to either, grab some enemy ship or buy a new ship. Does the inventory automatically transfer, or do you have to transfer your own inventory?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it does it automatically or not. I haven't done that. I've modified my original ship. And I took a ship that I had gotten in a quest that was it was just a shuttlecraft. It was a total piece of crap. And so I deleted all of its parts so that it was just a blank canvas.
Mm-hmm.
And then built a new ship from that. And when I got done with that, it said that it automatically transferred the contents of the cargo hold of the ship that I had scrapped into the ship.
Okay.
So the only thing you'd have to watch for is you'd have to make sure that you had enough storage space in the new build to accommodate all the stuff that you had in that other one. Because if you do the Frontier, there's a fair amount of space in that ship.
It seems to be. It's based on the same mass, units of mass that your personal inventory is based on. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Right. Because I only discovered last night that there's an actual ship's hold. I thought that the little thing right outside
the captain's.
I thought that was it.
Yeah.
I thought that was it. So now I guess that's great. I can. What about settlements? Have you done any settlements? I don't think we're spoiling anything here. This is all mechanics.
Yeah, it's all mechanics. Yeah.
So
I did set up 2 settlements, which consisted of your construction site, a power source, an extractor, and a turret. And I built 2 of those very intense settlements on 2 different planets across the system. So that was the extent of my my building. So you're pretty limited as to what you can build to begin with.
Limited by perks?
Limited by recipes.
Oh, okay. All right. So you have to research crafting recipes
and everything, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But I could have built some habitation units, but the first time I tried to do that, I couldn't get 2 pieces to stick together. So I said, "Screw it! I don't need to live here. I got a ship."
At first, I'm just all I'm concerned about is places to store everything that I really want to go out and collect. I want to go out and just collect everything I can possibly find.
Yeah,
resources and everything, and have a place that I can bring it back to, so that when I want to, I can craft stuff.
Yeah,
that's my main concern right now. So I guess that's
I didn't get that far in my settlement building.
Okay. Yeah.
I just every once in a while I would go back and there'd be 15 lead in this one and 20 iron in that one. I'd take those out and be on my way.
Yeah. So you're not really into settlement building, period. Yeah.
No, not really.
Yeah, that's what because Cosimo just said trying to get Ray to admit to settlement building. Yeah.
You need some settlements for Starfield.
So for me, it's it's all about the ship, because you can have a bigger settlement inside your ship, than you can on the ground.
That makes sense, especially for some of the more nomadic classes, right? I chose Pilgrim for mine because it was the closest to my favorite space based character of all time. That's Nathan Brazil from Jack Chalker's series, but and so the Pilgrim sort of fits that mold, which is just you're just a freighter. You're out there to make some money, move shit around in space, and move on to the next thing. That's basically it.
Yeah. And there's a way to do that in the game. I haven't actually come across it yet, but evidently you can go to somebody in the spaceport and they will give you a job to haul stuff.
Oh, cool.
So depending on how much storage space you have available, because evidently some of the loads are pretty big. They can be, 1,000 units.
Nathan Brazil was a smuggler and a freighter. He also happened to be the oldest living thing in the universe. So it was kind of cool too. I don't know if anybody's ever read any of those books, but they are great.
And if you want to be a smuggler, then there's some other different shielded cargo stuff that you need to get in order to do that.
So if you have stuff in your cargo hold of the ship, is it always available for crafting?
It's available for crafting and selling.
And selling.
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
so
really?
If you're
you don't have to carry it with
vendor,
you.
no, yeah. If you're at a vendor,
good,
and you when you go into the sell screen, you look. There should be one more button you can push to move to sell from the
ship
the ship name.
Okay, that's
and
nice.
You can sell the inventory out of there.
Interesting. Well, that makes it a lot easier because I was like having to drop so much stuff because I was carrying so much crap, and I should have just taken it back to the ship.
Yeah, and you can you could probably see some pictures. I think they've showed up in our Discord. So one thing that you can do for extra storage space is just drop stuff on the floor of your ship.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
You can also just drop it in your settlement too. But you don't have access to it except that, you trip over it on your way to the cockpit.
So it really is No Man's Skyrim because you got rooms full of cheese
junk. Yeah.
Or gemstones.
Yeah. Oh God, gems. Oh.
Yeah.
So I landed on one planet where I got frostbite.
Oh no! Really? Wow.
Yeah. And some toxicity and.
There's nasty planets out there.
Yeah, I've run into some toxicity issues on a couple
planets. I started a character, for crafting, and also just general, scanning because I was curious about that process. I abandoned it shortly after I started because I couldn't figure out how, where do I get rid of, where do I sell this, data to? On another character, I got to the point where I found out who buys the stuff. And so now I'll be able to go back and revive that character again. But I've been the thing that's occupied most of my time here recently is my pirate. And it is no small feat to become a pirate. It's not easy.
It makes you work for it.
Yeah.
Can you join a pirate faction?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Crimson.
Is it the
Crimson Fleet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Can you join the other one? Was the Ecliptics? Is that the
the mercenary group? Yeah, no, they can't join. At least not that I know of. Okay. Not that I've come across yet.
Maybe later.
But they do have good stuff, so kill a lot of them.
Yes, I have killed a few, more than a few perhaps, but they're tough.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I had a piece of armor that would actually make you disappear.
Yeah, chameleon armor.
Yeah,
that's what my pirate wears.
Oh, that feels very Oblivion.
Yeah. Well,
it is.
It's more like Fallout because you kind of when you're still, you disappear. But as soon as you move, you reappear.
Yeah.
Sort of like the Predator.
Predator. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
I think I'm going to start a new character because I enjoyed mine, but I also need to work through the character creation. I was kind of moving fast. I don't think I really did it justice.
Same.
And I want a beard. Damn it! I couldn't find one. So
it's the last two facial hair settings.
Yeah, so
they're not great beards.
Not enough of them either. Yeah,
yeah. Because I was looking for a spiky beard.
Yeah.
No spiky beards. They're just they're bushy and nuts.
Yeah.
I think I got kind of close to mine, so I was okay with my character. I think he kind of looks like me, so it's all good.
I try not to make characters look like me because I know nobody else wants to look at it, and I certainly don't. But it is fun to kind of mess around with the different traits.
Yeah.
Because on this, the first character I built, I had no traits.
Oh, you just went with none. Okay.
I just went with none. But that was a mistake. And so, then I tried a couple of other ones. And for this pirate character, I got the Neon Street Rat, which actually gives me several speech options.
Okay.
In different things. I got Wanted, which also gives you a lot of speech options. When you're talking to criminals, you can kind of, when you're in persuade conversations with them, you kind of like, yeah, I know where you're at, buddy.
Yeah. Okay. So it's honor among thieves, as it were. Yeah.
Now it also sends the Ecliptic after you. But as long as you're prepared for it, it's nice loot. Evidently, you can take their ships too after you kill them all.
Oh, nice.
I just haven't had that come up yet. The only bounty hunters I've had come after me so far have been in space, and their ships blow up. So,
are they coming after you because you've done something that created a bounty, or is it just random?
Yeah, it is not. It's not like the regular in-game bounty.
Oh, okay.
It's somebody has put a price on your head somewhere in the
sort of like the hired thugs in Skyrim or whatever.
Yeah, only they keep coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't have a note that says who sent them.
Well,
that's true.
So I did collect a note. I just haven't read it.
Aha. So I thought that. So since I've only gone through the character creation one, so when you pick a class or whatever you want to call it, I thought don't those come with traits?
No. So they come with perks. So there's 3 perks that you get, with each background. Okay. Those are your starting perks, and then the traits are something completely separate.
Is there a place you can go back to find out what you chose? Because, like I said, I was kind of basically asleep when I did it, and I have no idea what I chose. Where do you go?
Yeah, when you're in your menu screen, the one that pops up, and you can, go to the space map or look at your ship or your inventory. Yeah. If you're in that screen and you, I don't know what it is on controller, but on keyboard, if you push B, it brings up your status screen.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And then that has a huge list of information. You can look and see, so what did I pick?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can look those up, and then it'll also tell you, any afflictions that you've got or anything like that.
All right.
Okay. So on the Xbox controller, it's a Y. You click on Y.
Yeah.
Yep. And so there's a lot of useful information in there. You just really have to dig for it, and then try to remember, where did I see
where
that?
you found?
Yeah.
I feel like my first character is just going to be figuring out menu stuff and just basics, and then starting over again.
Yeah, that's what I did. Was my first one? I was really just kind of so anxious to get into the game. It was Thursday night, and it's like I don't even care. I don't care what it looks like.
Just play.
Yeah.
I just want to get in the game and play.
That's it. Yeah.
And so they were quickly retired.
Yeah, this one I feel like is going to retire pretty quickly. But I just don't want to go through the whole beginning again. That's
the way that it goes,
Yep.
And on this character, I think I pulled a Michael on Oblivion where I just kept hearing you get this little sound every time you level up. And I'm like, when do I level up? I was finally, I think I was level 4 when it actually said something about leveling up, and then I was, because I was on that screen, that main screen.
Oh yeah.
Like, okay. Well, okay. Oh, look at that. Oh, I got 3 perks. Cool.
Yeah. And it's hard to use the perks. Because if you haven't done the things to use the perks,
right,
you can't use it in them. So I had to kind of look around. So I think I'm going to take like the first couple days and play with this character and just learn a little bit.
Yeah. And bank perks, unless one of the, the tracks that you're running down
comes up,
is ready to go, just hang on to it.
That makes sense.
That seems like a good strategy.
Otherwise you get spread way thin, and then you do rank up and you've got no perk points to put against it. So everything you do after that, which is theoretically something that you're working towards,
right,
doesn't count.
And this game has no level cap, right? So you can pretty much go as you can practically go to the end of the perks.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't gotten over level 20 yet on anything.
Yeah.
I've got 75 and a half hours in so far.
That's another thing is I wanted to go out and explore planets outside of where we're at. But I'm looking, some say you have to be like level 45 for like a recommended level. I'm like, I'm level 5.
I just went. I just get in your ship and go, that's
just avoid any pirates, avoid any creatures that show up as red. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to a couple planets, did a minor little quest, and then just went exploring the planet. That's how I found that salvage yard. I still don't know what it was, but it looked like a really interesting, thing to. But yeah, anyway, it might take you a few jumps to get to wherever you want to go.
I'm wondering if that junkyard was procedurally generated.
No. That's the one thing about this game. I think that the the planets and at least as far as I understand it.
Yeah. The places with markers. Yeah. So when you fly into a system and you look at a planet, and there's markers on it, those are fixed locations.
Yeah.
If you land on that planet and walk around, all the other buildings, will all be procedurally generated.
And the flora and the fauna, right? Could change.
Yeah.
Other than the locations that you're like the specific locations.
Yeah, because they use those for quests.
Yeah.
Right.
Just about anything like that has some kind of a quest involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
Either, somebody sends you there or you go there and you can get a quest from the people that are there.
That was one thing I did like when we went to New Atlantis. It actually felt like it was populated. Like it felt like an actual city as opposed to just 12 people.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does feel popular. But I mean, like any game that has to be sort of, usable on different systems, it doesn't feel hugely populated.
It's busy, but
busy, but not, and they put background audio in to make it sound busier than it actually is. But
I mean, it's no New York City, but
right.
Could be any town USA though,
or Cyberpunk. I got a real Cyberpunk vibe when I was in there. But the thing is that you can pull your gun out and nobody reacts. You can bump into people and nobody reacts.
Yeah.
In Cyberpunk, if you pull your gun out, you're probably going to get shot. And if you bump into somebody, they bitch at you.
Yeah, at least in Cyberpunk, when I first played Cyberpunk, it was like, there were lots of NPCs, but half of them, there were like 6 models.
There were 6 people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah.
Really off-putting.
Man.
It's funny.
There was a lot of different.
Got that same outfit
people.
on.
And,
that's right.
Body types and stuff for the people.
It's got a nice variety. And you don't have that repeatability. You don't see as many of the same people that you do in Cyberpunk.
And you really can run around everywhere. I walked, swam across the water and go to a different building. That's how I found the Galactic Bank or whatever. I was just wandering around, and that was fun. I like that.
Just know that all the water's only 6 inches deep.
Yes. Yeah. Basically. I guess you're right. I didn't swim. I just waded.
I can't swim. I can't swim.
Yeah. If you look at yourself in third person, you're doing the breaststroke.
As you walk across.
You can't get your head underwater.
Yeah.
And I like some of the vendors. They have their own personalities too.
Oh yeah,
which is kind of fun.
And a lot of different inventories.
Yeah.
So that's always good to kind of poke around, see what you got, what they've got for sale.
Yeah, because I went to the guy that sells outfits and everything, and depending on the conversation you have with him, like you say, well, I don't know anything about style and this and that. He's like, nobody does. They just kind of they just buy something and make and act confident, like they know what they're wearing. And I was like, okay, that's a pretty cool conversation there.
Yeah, it's definitely a good game to not rush through. It's hard not to
explore,
because it's brand new. You want to get in and try everything out,
right?
But this is a real slow burn game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that is because the NPCs talk a lot and really slowly.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. I've heard some criticism of that, but
so you're
okay.
Because if you're trying to rush through,
right?
You're just like, okay, get to the point. Take your time.
Plus, you want to hear the whole conversation, because he may actually say something that's important.
Yeah, yeah. Especially in quests, because they'll tell you stuff that you won't have any other way of looking at.
Oh wow!
And just what they've, what did he say that? I mean, what? Oh crap! What did he say? Guess I should have paid closer attention.
I'm gonna go talk to him again.
Yeah. I guess that's the hard part for me. So like when Skyrim came out, I had just so much more time in general to devote to the game. Whereas now everything's more in bits and pieces, and it's hard to, playing 2 hours here, 3 hours there to put together feel cohesive in the game almost. So
and there's so much to the game.
Yeah, it's just so deep. It's even just from what I've seen, it's like being able to hop in for those bits and pieces. I don't know how that's all going to add up together, playing it wise, That's
because I remember sometimes you'd say, "Oh yeah, I 10 minutes. I put 10 minutes in the morning and did this right here."
Yeah. When you know a game, it's yeah. You can, I can play Skyrim for 20 minutes in the morning and go 5 different places probably. But or because you know exactly where you're going, exactly what you're doing, how to get there, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and what's going to happen when you get there.
Yeah, what's going to happen. You don't have to listen to anybody. You skip through every conversation because you know it's going to be there. But a new game, it's just it's a very different thing, especially something at this scope where you actually have to pay attention to everything that's happening. So I mean, it's not like a criticism of a game; it's just the reality of when you have time, when you don't have time. But that's kind of where I am at with it. I'm worried for me that I'm not going to have the cohesive time to fully get the enjoyment out of it soon. It might take me longer to feel like I live in the game almost, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
something like that.
I agree 100%. That's the same because I get maybe an hour or two in the evenings to play, and I'm already tired. So So and this last weekend with the release of the game. The weekend started out. It was spectacular.
Beautiful out. Weather. It was beautiful out.
I just could not bring myself to stay inside. And, So yes. Also,
just the good thing is the game's going to be around
for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's not multiplayer. Oh well, you can take it with you.
And I've been reading up on this, and there's some issues with the Steam Deck. But from what I gather, it actually runs reasonably well on the Steam Deck. So I'm going to take it with me to this conference in Virginia.
Nice.
And spend most of my time playing Starfield and not screw the conference. Oh wait, Uncle Sam's listening because he's paying for it. No, I'll be at the I'll leave this time in the Steam Deck at home. Yeah.
Exactly.
but yeah, just actually all seriousness aside, if anybody does own a Steam Deck, it appears that the game plays reasonably well on it. Low frame rates, but it does work. So that's good to know. Yeah.
Very good to know. Now I wish I'd gotten the PC version.
Yeah, for me, I waited for Game Pass because first I had stuff going on the weekend, so I'm like, well, there's no reason for me to spend the money. And then I got sick, so I was asleep all day Monday. So I was like, well, I'm not gonna spend the 35 hours today because I can barely keep my eyes open. So this is not gonna go well. So I'm like, I'll just wait for Game Pass. It was a day, so I only lost out a day really of what I would have been able to play anyway. Right. And then for me, like, it's also the aesthetic. I much more enjoy a fantasy, medieval, Middle Earthy type game than I do like a post-apocalyptic or a space game. So it's just, for me, it's just always going to be, I'm always going to err that way than, these. Yeah. But I did love No Man's Sky when it came out, and I loved like some of the updates and stuff that I played, and I definitely got that vibe from this. Like that just like joy of being in space, kind of like you are in No Man's Sky, but it was obviously cleaner than the early No Man's Sky was.
Yeah, definitely. There's that joy of exploration and just finding new things and talking with new people and figuring out quests. Yeah, I think if to sort of expand on that, I think once I can get into the settlement building and stuff like that and just have a home base, I'll feel more like I'm sort of into the game, and not quite as footloose.
That's how I feel. Yeah, like, because I'm just so early in it. There's and I don't know enough about anything, so I can't like say, oh, it's this or that. I have no idea. It's like so early. And then how the game changes over time and updates and things like that. So, I do wish that they didn't like drop you in 2 battles to start off in the area. Like it just felt like too much. Not like too much to do. It just felt like in the starting zone we got a big gun battle here. Oh, wait, then you go over here, there's just a big gun battle here. Like it just was not
wasn't too tough though.
Yeah, they weren't tough or anything. It was just like I didn't want that. Like I wanted little bits of it. I think the starting zone areas should be a little bit of everything and not let's just do a couple gun battles.
Fight.
Yeah. Okay. It felt like going through the research center. It should have been more like, oh, you can do this. You learn this station.
Discover this, discover that.
Yeah.
Read the terminals.
Get
information.
That's my only real criticism of what I've experienced so far. But I had fun scanning the stuff and learning how to do that and getting some ore and materials and stuff.
If there's any criticism I have, it's still the same old tired. Why? It's got to be Todd Howard, and maybe I need to go to his house and talk to him about it. But the character models, I'm sorry, they fucking suck. And just why? It's still, Oblivion. It's not that bad, but just why are their facial models so often grotesque? I don't get that aesthetic. I just do not. This is a modern generation game. We have been through Witcher 3 and all these other wonderful games that have beautiful character models. Why do we have to put up with the guy at the Galactic Bank who looks like fucking Jimmy Swaggart, for God's sake, and he talks like him too? So
there's a reference.
Yeah.
That was a good one. You'll have to be our age if that's
sorry, Jimmy Swaggart's a long path. But yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, no, I definitely I hear you there.
I don't know.
I ran into a reference to one of our dear friends from Skyrim.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I was going through a maximum security prison, and on the prisoner roster was one Delvin Mallory.
Oh, really? Wow,
nice,
awesome.
Nice.
I saw also somebody posted a tweet on one of my other Discords that said they had some random person had said that I was an adventurer once like you or something like that. So there's
quite a few nods in there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Plus, you can have an adoring fan.
Yes, I did see that. I considered it. I considered it for my first play, and I was like, no, do I really want to deal with him in this?
Yeah, no, I definitely do not. That's just me.
I think I'm about to play Oblivion again, which is why I didn't pick it, actually. So I was like, I'm going to deal with this anyway, so really don't need to deal with it here. So
yeah, I was doing Oblivion as well. I'm enjoying that too.
Yeah, well, I never met him in Oblivion, and so I had nothing that compelled me to meet him now.
Yeah, no reason really, actually. He's got to look better than he does in Oblivion anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you want to see something fun, just see how all the different ways that they kill him. And there's a YouTube video that just shows the many different ways of killing him.
Yes, yeah. Oh gosh,
that would go along well with all the dead Sean Bean videos.
Yeah. On a console note, I will say the Series X made Skyrim look amazing again.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even heavily mod it or anything. I just pretty much threw Legacy in and some real basic stuff. Nice. Just so clean and smooth. And
that's good to know, because my Series S, which did get wet in our flood from a couple of years ago, but seemed to work. And then I had Colin came down with my oldest grandson Avery, and Avery was downstairs playing, and the thing just went. So it's time for a new Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, Series X is really smooth.
Yeah.
And it's super quiet too.
Yes, I will say that. Very quiet.
Yeah.
The water looks really good. For just vanilla without adding any mods to it, the water looks really good, which is always difficult. But it looks way, way better. And
have they upped the amount of space you can take up with mods?
I don't think they did for the Series X. I think it's still the same.
So
yeah. I mean, you can still fit a good bit on. Obviously, not anything like PC, but you can do a pretty good bit on there. I've seen people with 100 mods or more, on load orders and stuff. So,
and it's a space issue, right? It's not a number of mods. It's how many.
It's the size, size of the
mods. It's how many gigs? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I was curious with the more powerful machine whether they'd up the space requirements.
That would be nice.
Yeah. No,
because I know
it's arbitrary and mean.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
it's got to have enough space for Legacy of the Dragonborn. Crying out.
Yeah. I am running that, so there's of course I'm running Uvenwald as well. So
yeah. Is that available for Xbox?
Yeah,
nice.
I actually ran it on the One X when I was using that, and it looked good.
Because I'd be that's a couple of mods like that. I don't know if Skyland is available on Xbox or whatever.
Yes, it is.
Skyland and Ulvenwald, just some really pretty flora and fauna mods.
Add some extra to it. Yeah.
And the perk mods don't take up any space.
No, they're simple. Yeah.
But Legacy sure does. That's a huge mod.
Yeah, it runs really smooth on the Series X for sure. I had a ton of issues on the One X, and on the Series X it's seamless. It runs very smooth. So that's been good. I'm excited to go through that and just have fun with this character.
And I haven't had any issues with Starfield on my current PC, which is a few years old, but has a 2070 Super, and it seems to run quite nice at 1440. I'm not running I have a 4K monitor, but I'm not running anything in 4K. It's just it does tend to tax things. But yeah, I've seen a few, YouTube video thumbnails talking about performance issues, but I haven't watched any of the videos. But seems to run fine. I don't. Has anybody had any issues?
No. I mean, I saw some complaints about load screens or something, but I haven't experienced anything.
No, they're
like
all
that.
Quite very quick. The game loads fast.
Yeah.
I mean, it has a shader cache, right? So the first time it loaded, there was a long pause.
Yes.
Yeah. But once that's all cached, it's fine.
It's all good. Yeah. I've had no issues going in and out of stuff or anything like that.
Yeah. The only issue I've had is when I walk through a door, so a load screen. There's a brief moment in time, just a second, where if I push the walk button, it doesn't work.
Oh.
And so I just stand there. But if I pick up my finger and drop it again, I start walking.
Is that enough of a lag to cause issues with, say, if you're walking into a battle or something like that? Or
it could, except now that I know that it's there, I'm I give myself that that second.
Right.
But it certainly could, because if you push the button and you don't start walking and you keep the button down, you just don't walk.
Okay.
Until you release the button and push it again.
That sounds
so
like
you
a
could
small
get yourself
bug they'll eventually fix.
Yeah. But it also might be my setup. I also have a problem where the camera can't keep up in Fallout 76 when I'm in an interior cell. The camera jumps. So.
Well,
but since I don't play 76 anymore, that's not a problem.
There you go.
Don't let the Fallout feed hear that.
Oh yeah, no, we talk about it all the time.
So how's this going to affect your No Man's Sky play?
So initially it affects it a lot. So a new expedition dropped just 2 days before Starfield.
Oh wow.
Ouch.
And so I got started on it, but I haven't finished it.
Yeah.
Going forward, time is not an issue for me. It's discipline.
That's fair.
I mean, that's why I've got, over 70 hours in the game.
Yeah.
And on the day of its release.
Yeah, as you get further from launch, you can kind of balance things out a little.
Yeah, because like at some point, I'm going to have to carve out a couple hours to do my Fallout 4 quests for this week, and I'm not playing right now because we're recording the show. I went to the grocery store.
All these things take time.
I had a coworker who used to use calendar to schedule all of his time.
Yeah.
It was kind of annoying to the other engineers because because sometimes it takes a while to get a project started, and once it gets going, he'd sit there and go, "Oh, I got to go do CAD." But it worked for him because he had his time, his whole day just scheduled out.
That's it.
It'll work for you.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, it's Skyrim time. Oh, look, it's Fallout time.
I spent the first couple of days before the game dropped doing meal prep, so that I would have all of my meals ready to go, and wouldn't have to stop and cook dinner.
That's amazing.
Stuff cooked for my wife, stuff cooked for myself.
Oh, that's great.
So it, I wanted to be able to commit the maximum amount of time possible.
That makes sense.
Cool.
Yep.
Absolutely.
See, if it wasn't
been fun.
If we weren't heading into
worth it.
Good weather season, this would be a lot easier. If this was like December, I'd be like, oh well,
Well, I this time of year I don't go outside because it's hot and humid.
Oh yeah, well, it's hot here now again. So yeah. all of a sudden,
it's just warm here.
Yeah, it decided to be summer here again.
Yeah, it's definitely. It's been nasty in the last few days, 90s. But we're gonna go back into the fall season soon.
Soon enough.
Yeah. So, not to sort of veer away from Starfield, but has anybody played at all Baldur's Gate 3?
I haven't. I have friends who've played, but I have not, and they've really enjoyed what they've played.
Yeah. I haven't played much either.
Yeah, that's not my style of game. So
yeah, mine either. I own it, of course, because I have to own everything. But
I think somebody said there was about 150 hours of cutscenes in it.
Yeah, my daughter's playing it, especially with her bud. She and her online friends are playing it a lot. I see her. In fact, she's on right now. So, and she's really digging it. But yeah, it is. You have to really love that sort of game.
Yeah, I actually started playing the first Baldur's Gate to kind of get ready for that game, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the 3 is even more sort of dedicated to the aesthetic of real D&D than the first 2 were.
Yeah.
So
that's what I heard.
It really is, I started playing it and I thought, yeah, it's like, I'm glad I own it. It's a game that I will go back to, but I would really rather play D&D in a, like we did with Skyrim, or in, IRL with other people at a tabletop.
Yeah.
It's much more fun that way.
I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a cat yelling at me.
I'm sorry.
Oh gosh!
So all cats yell at their owners.
Yes, like nonstop. It is insane.
Yeah, mine.
He sat there all that time, and you just barely petted him.
That's fair. That's fair. Usually, I have no choice in the matter. So,
yeah, mine will stop when I go sit on the couch and she can lay down on my leg.
Yeah,
and then she's like, okay.
Yeah, all good. You're doing what you're supposed to, human.
Yep.
Thank you.
And if I move a little bit, she'll turn around and stare at me, and I'm like, sorry.
Breathing.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll do another Skyrim Light Starfield episode coming up. Figure out a schedule. I'm going to try and play a lot this weekend, so I'll have free time. I'll be alone in the house, so.
There you go.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to have a whole lot of time over the next few weeks, but I'll try to get some. Especially, I'm loading Starfield on the Steam Deck right now, and we'll see how it plays.
How it goes.
On the road. But I'm not going to get a whole lot of depth into it. I got too many other things going.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's been our inaugural Starfield episode. Make sure you check out, of course, Ray over at Butcher and Baker for some No Man's Sky if you're also in space. And Fallout feed, of course. Which, I don't know, they'll probably talk some Starfield too, I assume.
Yeah, we did a little tiny bit, but not too much. We still have so much. We're almost to the end of the
roundtable, right? Yeah.
So
yeah,
is Andrew going to play Starfield?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he already got a little bit of a start.
Oh, good. Good.
Okay.
But what he thinks of it?
Yeah, but I definitely need to get caught up, because the first half of the week, last week, I played nothing but No Man's Sky. And then after that, it was nothing but Starfield. So I got to squeeze some Fallout in there somewhere.
Yeah. There you go.
Got to kill some raiders.
There's a few other games coming over the next month or so. I think isn't Mirage coming out?
Yes,
at some point?
And I've been playing a ton of Odyssey. I got back into Odyssey, and I'm like, man, I really love just killing people in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, well, and I've heard that I listened to a couple of previews of Mirage, and I gather it is very much a sort of harking back to early Assassin's Creed games, like 1 and 2, which would be great. There's a lot of original mechanics in there, like the hiding in crowds and sitting on benches and stuff like that from the original. And
I do miss that. It takes
place in Baghdad, medieval Baghdad. So it should be. It sounds like it, and it's a much smaller game too. It's not huge, So that it's going to be fun.
The last couple were very, very big. Like
they were. Yeah. I loved the environment in Valhalla, but it was just like, I'm sorry, I got like 10, 15 hours into it, and I just overloaded, and that was the end of it.
Yeah, I played the whole thing, but I did not enjoy it the same as I enjoyed Odyssey and Origins.
Both of the Origins was great. I love Egypt. Anything to do with Egypt since I was a little kid. In fact, I was just at the British Museum a couple of weeks ago, and I was completely geeking out in there. I spent like 3 hours just hanging out in the Egyptian section. So that was great. I love that. But anyway, I'm looking forward to Mirage.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Mirage as well.
Yeah, 3 weeks. Phantom Liberty will come out for Cyberpunk. Their DLC.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It'll probably be 3 months before I pick it up.
Oh gosh,
I should really go back and play that game because I gather it has become so much better than it was, just like No Man's Sky did.
Yeah. They've done quite a bit. At this point, probably just wait until Phantom Liberty comes out. Because it's going to change the gameplay.
Oh,
really? Okay.
Wow.
So no need to get into the gameplay now, just to have it change in a few weeks.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, and then still no release date because of the war. But Stalker 2 was at they were at the game conference, the Xbox conference.
Oh, nice.
So that is a big deal.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you all next time.
Night, all.
Good night.
Take care.
Recording stopped.